Hello there, a very good morning and welcome to today's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. We're coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Well, this week's parliamentary sessions will continue until tomorrow, and today's parliamentary session will see the Appropriation Bill for the 2025 fiscal year being tabled in Parliament. We have details on today's parliamentary session this morning on the Breakfast Rundown, as well as latest developments concerning the importation of rice to the country, as well as the recent fatal shooting that took place in Mount Lavinia, and so much more, of course. As for news overseas, this morning we have updates coming in from the United States concerning the wildfires that are very much widespread throughout Los Angeles, as well as the latest update coming in from the Middle East, Gaza to be specific. Stay tuned with us. We have all the news in detail. Well, let's move on to the top local story for this morning. The bill for the Appropriation Act to allocate funds for the 2025 fiscal year is scheduled to be presented in Parliament today for its first reading. According to the Parliament's Department of Communication, the second reading of the bill, also known as the budget speech for this year, is scheduled for the 17th of February. The debate on the second reading of the budget will take place over 7 days, that is from the 18th to the 25th of next month. The Parliament session today is set to commence at 9:30 a.m. under the leadership of the Speaker. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Customs reports that a total of 115,000 metric tons of imported rice has been released to the market so far. This includes 45,000 metric tons of raw rice as well as 70,000 metric tons of parboiled rice. The deadline imposed by the government for rice imports is scheduled to end tomorrow. In light of the rice shortage in the market, the government had granted permission for the private sector to import rice to the country as well. The Gum at the Door-to-Door initiative will resume today, further expanding its mission over a decade. This program, conducted in collaboration with the University of Peradeniya, marks the initial phase of the annual Gum at the Work plan. Gum at the, conceptualized by former chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group R. Rajamahendran, is driven by the vision of data to truth and truth to action. The core of Gum at the lies in gathering data. The annual door-to-door initiative involves Gum at the teams visiting remote and underserved villages continuously for about a month. They meet with the residents, listen to their concerns and document these issues. This year, students from the University of Peradeniya are once again participating in the door-to-door program, aiming to compile the latest Gum at the annual report. Meanwhile, the police have revealed through investigations that the gunman of the shooting in Vattarappala, Mount Lavinia, arrived on a stolen motorcycle. The police stated that the motorcycle had been stolen from Hangballa. Now, this shooting, which occurred early morning the day before yesterday, resulted in the deaths of two individuals aged 36 and 20, both residents of the Mount Lavinia area itself. According to the police, two unidentified assailants had arrived on a motorcycle and opened fire before fleeing the scene. Subsequently, the police launched an investigation into this incident, and that evening, the police discovered the motorcycle believed to have been used by the gunmen abandoned by a by-road leading to the Horana Munagama Provincial Road Development Authority. The police confirmed that the motorcycle was indeed the one used by the gunmen. Further investigations revealed that this motorcycle had been stolen. Police also stated that the shooting was a result of an ongoing conflict between two organized criminals who have been identified as Badovita Asanka and Kosmalli. This shooting is the second such incident reported within the first 9 days of the year 2025. Well, let's move on to more local news for this morning. The Midigama police arrested a suspect with various types of drugs in his possession during a house search in Baligama last night. Police said that the search was carried out based on information received from a tip-off. Now, among the drugs seized by the police were cannabis, hashish and ice or crystal methamphetamine, a total value exceeding 5 million rupees. The arrested suspect is scheduled to be presented before the Mathura Magistrates Court. Meanwhile, in a separate operation in Kottaguda, which borders Minuwanguda and Jayala police divisions, 173 barrels filled with moonshine worth millions of rupees was also found. The police confirmed that this operation was carried out by the Bemulla police based on information received by Senior Superintendent of Police of the Gampaha division, Jagat Rohana. The police also faced significant challenges in recovering other hidden items that were buried underwater. And in our weather update for this morning, the Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the northern, north central, eastern and Uber provinces and in the Mathale and Nuwara Elia districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces and in the Kaluthara and Kandy districts during the afternoon or night. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, southern and Uber provinces and in the Kurunegala district during the morning hours. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Well, let's move on to the marine weather update for this morning as well. Showers may occur at several places in the sea areas extending from Kankasanture to Pothuville, via Trincomalee and Batticaloa. Winds will be northeasterly and speed will be 25 to 35 kilometers per hour. Wind speed can increase up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour at times in the sea areas of the coast extending from Colombo to Kankasanture, via Putlam and Mana and Pothuville to Hambantota. Wind speed can increase up to 40 kilometers per hour at times in the sea areas of the coast extending from Kankasanture to Pothuville, via Trincomalee and Batticaloa. The sea areas of the coasts extending from Colombo to Kankasanture, via Putlam and Mana and Pothuville to Hambantota will be fairly rough at times. The sea areas of the coasts extending from Kankasanture to Pothuville, via Trincomalee and Batticaloa will be moderate to fairly rough at times. Shifting your attention to news overseas for this morning, our first international news item comes in from the Middle East. The UN's humanitarian agency or OCHA says the death of a Palestinian aid worker who was wounded in an Israeli air attack on the World Food Programme warehouse on the 5th of January has taken the number of humanitarian workers killed in Israel's war on Gaza to 369. The figure includes 263 UNRWA staff as well. The OCHA, in its weekly update on Gaza, noted that Israeli forces also fired 16 bullets at a clearly marked WFP convoy on the 5th of January, although no injuries were reported. It also highlighted a statement from Doctors Without Borders, known by its French acronym MSF, in which the group said 8 of its staff had been killed in the Israeli war. Meanwhile, Gaza's health ministry warned on Wednesday that fuel stocks are running out and that will soon result in the enclave's remaining healthcare facilities ceasing to function. Now, Doctors Without Borders, known by its French acronym MSF, has warned that the Nazar Hospital, Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital and the European Hospital in particular are facing fuel shortages and are at a risk of shutting down. Our second international news item concerns a headline-making international story, which is the wildfires that are currently spreading in the United States. The 4 ongoing fires, Palisades, Eaton, Hearst and Woodley, are 0% contained, with 5 people killed and more than 1,000 structures burnt. The Palisades fire was the first fire to break out yesterday and has so far burnt more than 1,000 structures. 37,000 residents are under evacuation order and continues to blaze through 5,000 acres. The Eaton fire 2 people have died and dozens more are injured, some with significant injuries as a result of the Eaton fire near the city of Pasadena. It continues to burn through over 2,000 acres and 32,500 people have been evacuated so far. As for the Hearst fire, which ignited near the Silma area of Los Angeles last night, has now grown to 500 acres and 3,000 people have been evacuated from its surroundings. And the fourth fire, the Woodley fire, was the most recent of all the wildfires. The Woodley blaze was just reported by California's fire authority in the last few hours, and that is currently burning over 75 acres of terrain. Firefighters in Los Angeles have also experienced a shortage of water as they try to contain the wildfires burning in and around the city. Well, that brings to a close today's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. I'll see you once again right here on TV1 at 7 a.m. tomorrow as well. Until then, take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.